Mark Allen to break.
Of course, it's the first of 4 to go through. The winner to play either Neil Robertson or the man who knocked out Jack Lazowski, Wang Yushen. Neil folds alongside me, and given, Neil, that Allen didn't get onto the table 90 minutes after the scheduled start a couple of days ago, it was a very fluent performance, wasn't it, against Liu Hongyu?
Indeed it was. He played well in that match, I thought, really well, and yes, he had to wait around. Had his match been long, it could have been an extremely late night for players, officials, spectators, everyone. But he dispatched his opponent very nicely. Unusual sort of path through, isn't it, for Ollie Lyons? As you heard, he was meant to play his first couple of matches in the qualifiers which preceded this, but the fact that he was always, you basically can't be in two places at once. He was still in Cheltenham competing in the British Open, so that's why the matches of his and the Ricky Walden match was all held over, which means he's been the busiest player all week we've seen, having played already 3 times. And some players are just coming in for their first, or their second, I should say, match, including Mark Allen.
He came from 2-0 behind in that win over Walden. And then an equally good win over one of the form players this season, Wu Yize, who of course made the final of the first Home Nations event of the season. The English Open, losing to Robertson, only narrowly in the end after a great comeback in the final. It's a wonderful venue here at the Waterfront Hall. I mentioned the crowd, and Mark Allen also referenced how important that support is for him and how he's very keen to repay it with another strong display this week in Belfast. He cracked the code back in 2021 when he won the title in such dramatic fashion, beating John Higgins in a decider from 2 down with 3 to play. And then, of course, he retained the title the following year. So looking for the hat-trick this year. Needs some cover.
Yeah, and he's got the cover, and he's actually given a problem to Ollie Lyons here, because clearly he can't get to the red close to the pocket, and there aren't many options. He tried to plant, that's a very difficult shot. I mean, he was in trouble. I don't know what the right shot was, but as it happens, he's given him the most wonderful chance early on to Mark Allen here. This is an absolute beauty. It's just a question of whether he can just get on the black initially, and then, well, anything could come of this chance.
Jimmy White in the background there, fresh from that fine victory over Hossein Vafai. What a battle that proved to be. Up against the Welsh Open finalist from last season, Martin O'Donnell. You can watch it on Discovery Plus, Table 2. Elliot Slesser and Long Zhuang are on Table 3.
Eight. Nine.
I think we all know the score with Mark Allen. He's a very meticulous scorer. His individual sort of style of short backswing, punchy cue action, all of that, which tends to mean that his control of the cue ball is his real strength. That last shot is actually an example of it. How closely he played behind the next red. And when he's working, he is a joy to watch because he plays what looks to be a series of easy shots in a row because of the superb control he's got over the cue ball. So whipping the ball round for the blue. So
15.
I think he looks in good form, you know, and I know that he would earmark this event, would be high on his list. It may not be the biggest money spinner, £100,000 not to be sniffed at, but some of the events now are bigger. But to Mark Allen, I think this one is high on his list for obvious reasons. The fact that he's from these parts.
He sits at 20th on the one-year ranking list, quarter-finalist at the English Open in Brentwood, semi-finalist at the British Open.
$21.
And as he pointed out himself after his victory over Liu, it was a very strong all-round performance. He only missed a couple of balls into this right centre pocket.
It's a pretty good shot, that. The yellow is in play there. You can easily,
26.
on a bad day, end up right behind it. So the red would not have been potable.
$27. $30.
This time the cue ball ran too far. He wanted a choice of reds to right corner, and he's gone further than he would have wanted. He's on one, but the cue ball again is heading away from the high value colours in taking this red on. It's going into bulk. There's not much he can do to stop that happening.
Mark Allen, 30.
Handy break, but not as many as it could have been.
Ollie Lyons comes into this tournament ranked at 83, but he's in the first year of a two-year card, so tour survival isn't an issue for him this season.
Yeah, I think the players who are on a two-year card on the first year, sometimes their ranking is deceptive. You think, well, how is someone only ranked in the 80s? But of course it's quite simple, isn't it? You've only got half the season's points. You don't have the season before to add to it. It's only at the end of the second year you can really judge anybody on their particular ranking. And I think at the moment he's probably playing as well as he has done for a number of years. That semi-final in Cheltenham in the British Open was a great effort, although he didn't play well in that round, losing 6-0 to John Higgins.
Yes, he admit the occasion got to him. Higgins, of course, vastly experienced the big occasion in the way that Lyons isn't. It's a very solid pot from Allen to get back in right in the middle.
1.
Seeing it again and again, it was a good shot, and cue ball did just go a little bit beyond the bulk line. so he could always drop in behind the green, although he dearly would like to pot the brown and keep the break alive. It's just that he thinks that this is carries less of a risk.
Mark Allen 1. Foul, the miss.
That was an impeccable
Mark
line,
Allen,
just
4.
a ball's width shy of pace. It'll go back. Sometimes the infuriating thing about this shot is you hit it just that little bit firmer. Mark Allen, of course, put him straight back in. And it's slightly firmer, and then it just throws off at a marginally different angle.
Yeah, can we check, please?
Natalia Gradinari, the referee, the surname you might remember from Vladislav, her son, who is someone who played in the shootout. A real prospect, actually. Young Moldovan player based in the UK. I guess it's the same story, isn't it, really, with a family member that should Vladislav ever get back on the tour, his mother, I don't think she'll be allowed to referee his matches somehow. Can't see that working out or being allowed in the same way that Tatiana is not allowed to officiate the matches her husband Ben plays in. But she's doing a great job, I think, Natalia. There's no suggestion, of course, if Tatiana Willison ever did referee Ben's matches, that she would be, favouring him. If anything, she'd probably be more strict to prove fairness, but she won't get the chance to find out. He could do with a good start, Ollie Lines, couldn't he, in this match? Mark Allen has got this way of winning matches easily. The crowd will be on his side. You've got to make an early inroad into a match against him here in Belfast.
The last big ranking meeting was between the two of them at the International Championship last year, which Allen won 6-3. They also played in the shootout as well. Allen winning on his way to the title, of course. Significant title for him, because it got him into the World Grand Prix. The 50,000 points that he earned. And of course he ended up winning later that season in the Players' Series. Excellent pot, really good.
Yeah, I mean, the kiss he's got on the black is not bad. He did want to reach over and stretch to pot it, but as a left-hander, he'd have had some sort of chance, although the rest is required. Oh, goodness me. That is one of those nightmare scenarios. You can't get the equipment away quick enough. That's something that he's smiling about, but it's actually made a huge difference. He'd have been in behind the red, but he just couldn't get the equipment away quickly enough. Just watch this. Oh, goodness me, that is an absolute nightmare scenario for anybody.
One.
Very unfortunate. We saw Ding Junhui earlier this season lose his tip in screwing back when he was on the cusp of winning, and the tip actually fouled another ball and he didn't get another shot in the match against Stuart Bingham.
I tell you what, this season has thrown up a few unusual ones, isn't it? I mean, obviously that last incident with Ollie Lyons there, I've seen that happen. It's happened to me in my former playing days, where you just this nightmarish scenario where you just cannot do anything about the ball travelling towards you. But the business with the ball that was not correctly placed in the D from Hossein Lafay the other day,
Free.
after a ball in hand, well, it happened in 1987, but it rarely does happen, anything like that. Most of the time things happen on the snooker table you've all seen before. Occasionally something crops up, doesn't it? There's a bit of a talking point.
Four.
Well, it cost Ollie Lyons the chance to score, having got in with a good long red. The question is it also going to cost him the frame? Mark Allen, 45 in front.
Ten.
75 on the table.
Well, it's not worked out particularly well, that cannon. Interesting, isn't it? We saw the line. He might have considered that red up into the yellow pocket. He was right
Mark
behind
Allen,
it,
10.
but it wasn't the red he played on. But seeing it there, now that red up the table might have been more favourable. That was a tricky little cutback. So the frame is not over by any means. Holding those hand warmers. It looks like he's holding two tea bags, doesn't it? But that's not what they are. They're to warm your hands up. They're very similar. See cricketers in cold weather use those when they're fielding. You'd like to think it isn't too cold in there in the waterfront, wouldn't you?
One.
That'll annoy him. He didn't pot the black cleanly, so he's not on the two reds to the right corner as he would have hoped. Barely on them at all, in fact. And he'll have to play another red, perhaps. The red close to the right corner down the cushion. I mean, we're seeing some of those missed on this table. This is not a certainty.
Oliver lines 8.
The round of 16 lineup is completed today here in Belfast as we see lines fail to negotiate that tricky thin cut. All of the last 16 matches take place tomorrow, of course, ahead of the quarterfinals on Friday, when we go up to the best of 9, first of 5 frames. Still in the first frame next door, Jimmy White and Martin O'Donnell. It's proving to be a tight one.
It's not the confident start from Mark Allen I expected, you know. The way he played the other day, he's been in a couple of times in this frame. That was not one of those, but he was almost closer to potting it in the left corner than the one he intended. At least he got the cue ball back to a safe place.
Well, this red goes, I think. Chance for Allen to kill this frame off. He's already 43 to the good.
One.
Allen looking away, he potted the red very cleanly, but it's going to have to be perhaps a trickle in behind the blue. Although coming in at that angle, you know, you can find it hard to cover all of the reds unless you play it perfectly. So he might not play it. If he does, it's going to have to be well judged. Just a roll in behind this. It looks a nothing shot, but could be that it's the reason he's not actually trying to drop in behind it.
Mark Allen 1.
So he's kind of worked hard for this 44-point lead, but the frame is still live. It's a terrific pot, but Mark Allen should ask himself how he left him that opportunity from where he was. But as I say, it was well played. So the frame is not over by any stretch. Line's a little unlucky when he couldn't get all the equipment off the table in time when he played that foul, because he was going to land behind a ball. But he can put it right here.
He mentioned that he's been adjusting to a new cue, which he first tried out when he went to Saudi Arabia, lost to the aforementioned Ben Wollaston in his second match there. And it does take time. Mark Williams made the same point yesterday.
I mean, all of that is absolutely true, which kind of makes Noppon Sankarm's performance more remarkable yesterday in his match against Tepchara Anu, because he had to borrow a cue in that his hadn't shown up from the airport. He borrowed Sean Murphy's cue and won the match with a clearance in the decider. That goes against everything we know in snooker, that sort of behaviour.
And Murphy has said he's welcome to borrow it again if necessary, if it doesn't show up. Might be different if they play in the final, but that's a long way off. Murphy plays Stuart Bingham next after his excellent comeback victory last evening.
It's a question now, can you get the rest underneath the cushion
18.
on this shot? Just about. Oh dear, he shouldn't have missed that one actually. That'll annoy him.
Oliver lines 18.
This frame now into its 26th minute. Mark Allen got in initially with 30, missed a cutback red to the right corner. It's got a bit scrappy since then. Well, has he covered the red? Allen only needs a red in any colour. It definitely went. It was a chance to clinch the frame. Led off the lines.
Well, it's got a bit of a look about it, this frame, isn't it, for Mark Allen? It's the one that might get away from him. You know, as you rightly say, I mean, he should have already won it about 3 times, but he hasn't won it once yet. And I mean, if he could knock this red in, I mean, really, he's favourite for the frame. It would be an unlikely opening frame victory. Whether he decides to go for it or not is another matter. He might play the snooker. No, he's going for it. Terrific shot. Now, it's the first frame of a possible 7. But it could still be a fairly important moment, this. Because really, he should clear. And that would come out of nowhere, and Mark Allen will be kicking himself. Sometimes brown to blue can be a difficult shot, but with the blue close to the left middle, it's not really a difficult shot at all.
Nine. Thirteen.
An eventful frame. Ollie Lyons fouling with the extension and then missing with the rest into the right corner. And when he left the chance for the red just now, which was virtually frame ball for Mark Allen, he must have thought this frame had gone.
Yeah, anything but straight would have been better on that blue. Now this, with his hand on the cushion rail, is one that could be missed. Ah, good shot. Well, all the credit to Ollie Lyons. That foul you
24.
mentioned could have upset him, but Mark Allen made him seem unperturbed, but he'll be displeased by what's happened in this frame.
Oliver Lyons.
Nearly half an hour in length, but it was a brilliant long-range red from Ollie Lyons to set up the chance to clear and steal it on the black, which he's done. And the underdog leads the former champ 1-0. Day
Oliver
4
Lyons to break.
of the Northern Ireland Open, and a good start for Oliver Lyons, which didn't look likely for most of the first frame, which lasted nearly half an hour, but he finished it superbly. Great long red into the left corner after Mark Allen had missed virtual frame ball into the green pocket, and he held his nerve to clear the colours for 1-0. And I think you heard a few cries of "come on Jimmy," which will tell you that White has just taken a very tight opening frame on the colours against Martin O'Donnell. And you can watch that on Discovery Plus and Max, of course, this afternoon. And for Mark Allen, more than a little frustration, I would think, that he didn't clinch that first frame, which he was bossing for almost all of it, Neil.
Absolutely, and that shot has not made him feel any better either, because he got so close to potting the red, it didn't come away from the pocket at all. These are shortish matches, best of 7. I know we've seen a few long best of 7, but you know, frame duration, you get a bad start and you're immediately on the back foot. Oh, goodness me, what on earth. Yes, it was awkward queuing, but it's almost hard to think that you could ever miss that shot. It was getting onto the table, and queuing it up was the problem. Look what he's left.
1. Eight. Nine.
He saw from the overhead he didn't have to play that shot. I mean, he could have played on the
14.
loose red, but he was trying to sort of be more adventurous and get the reds open, but they barely moved. And he could have easily played on the loose red. And when you do go that 2-cushion route, it's quite hard to generate the required speed on the cue ball to make the reds really open up. So again, a good leave in which he's not made all that many. Got in really early in frame 1 with a wonderful chance, made 30, which he knows is not enough.
They split the first 2 frames, by the way, on table 3. Elliot Slesser and Long Zhuang, who of course made the semi-finals of the recent Wuhan Open, beat Mark Selby and Jack Lazowski along the way. Was due to play Ronnie O'Sullivan here, but O'Sullivan of course withdrew.
Mark Allen. 14.
Another match you can watch on Discovery Plus.
Holly Lyons offering up something to middle here. You can see all three reds are available. Yeah, I mean, there's a willingness to allow someone of Mark Allen pot to middle like that from rolling out of the bunch of reds. I would argue it's probably not the best move to leave him anything of that kind. He's likely to get it.
Became the 12th official world #1 in this sport at the end of the World Championship last season. Mark Allen didn't hold it very long, of course. Judd Trump was able to overtake him, and now that Trump has banked that huge check from winning in Saudi Arabia, he's not going to be caught this season. Allen actually said he felt it was a bit of an anticlimax, having achieved one of his primary goals. Felt as though he perhaps didn't get the recognition he was expecting for being world #1, but he's very motivated to win this again. He described his win over Higgins, to win it for the first time in 2021, as his greatest ever match.
$12. $19. $20.
I think he's okay to the red to left middle here, the one on the pink spot.
25.
Little gentle grazing of the reds there.
$26.
It's a bit more like it. But slow to find his true rhythm.
$33. $34. $41. $42.
Not willing to play on the bottom red, which was along the cushion, when he feels that that would be one way that the break could break down before the frame is over. But it just about is.
50.
When this black goes in, the red to follow it will absolutely assure him of getting the frame back after possibly should have won the first.
He's very strong between the ears, Mark Allen. He's got a great match temperament.
57.
He doesn't get phased when things go awry. Remember, he was 6-1 down to Ding
58.
the year that he won the UK Championship in the final, and only dropped one more frame. He was 4-1 down to Zhou Yulong in the final here in 2022.
65.
And he certainly would have been irritated to lose the first frame today.
66.
Players without his experience and success might have been a little more fazed by that than he has been. It was an excellent red to get in initially into the right centre.
73.
And he's killed it off in one visit.
$74. $79. $80.
Closing in on 17th century this season.
Just looking, actually, the pink might be an obstacle for getting onto the yellow. Certainly into its natural pocket, where it's placed. You can think of a scenario right behind the
87.
yellow, but the pink obscures it. But you might play on to the yellow to get onto it into the top right pocket. Anyway, none of that matters now. No century, but he's equalised.
87 will do. It was a really nice break, particularly given the way he lost the first frame. The crowd approve. It's one frame all. Honours even then. Mark Allen with a fluent break of 87, having lost the first frame on the black to Ollie Lines. The winner to play either the English Open champion Neil Robertson, who's hoping to complete the full set of Home Nations titles this week, or Wang Yushen. They're in action this evening on table 2, first up from 7 o'clock local time.
Well, I don't think he went for the pop there. I'm sure he never, at that speed. He tried to push the red away onto the left cushion.
One. Seven. Eight. $15.
Aside from looking for his first win over Mark Allen in this his 4th attempt, he's also looking to make the deepest progress ever in a Home Nations event. That's just about crept in. Never been
16.
past the round of 32 in this series, which started back in 2016.
21.
Well, this is either good or bad news that he's finished low on this red. If it works out, it'll get him onto a colour and open some reds up. And he could hardly have played that any better.
22.
Terrific shot. Key is that often the cue ball will end up either embedded in the bunch or on the right side cushion, but neither of those have happened.
$29. $30.
That's fine. Nice little nudge again. The key to it was accuracy and not too much on the cue ball to push reds into close to cushions. So a shot Mark Allen, his opponent, would have been quite proud of that
36.
little control shot. And what a wonderful opportunity to take the lead against that man.
There wasn't too much to report from last
43.
season for Ollie. A couple of round of 16s, one of which was in the shootout, as mentioned. He lost to Allen, who went on to win that tournament. Made the same stage of the English Open, where he beat Kyron Wilson before losing to John Higgins. He only made 5 centuries last season. He's already made 4 this. And of course, in getting to the semi-finals of the British Open, he tasted his first last 4 in a ranking event. So it feels like the best of Ollie Lyons is still to come, and if he could beat Mark Allen on his own patch today, that would be one of the finest wins of his career to date.
Definitely not part of the plan there to hit that red.
51.
Nice shot.
52.
Made light of the previous shot there by knocking that one in comfortably.
$59.
Just a bit awkward here because where it's going to be standing for this shot, he'll be stretching. The sort of top left-hand corner of the table is right where he wants to be, so he can't get very close to it. See what I'm saying? He's right up the other end of the table. He's leaning across. But he played it well. Good shot.
60. 65. $66.
Just the black and a couple of snookers will be needed.
I think that's what this match needed, especially early lines. He needed to get a frame one in a single scoring visit. Just about to do that here. Match is just warming up nicely now. Fairly
73.
average start. First frame could have gone either way.
Oliver lines.
Would have liked that red in as well. I don't think Alan would have come back thereafter, but it is just two snookers, lots of reds on the table. A good break, nevertheless, of 73 from lines.
One.
Well, he won't be wanting to take too many lower value colours here, because it will just extend the amount of snookers required.
Seven. Eight. $15.
Well, that
16.
didn't look like it was ever going to reach. It just toppled in at the end.
$23.
So has a couple of snookers, and rather than take it down to one red, he going to try and slip in behind the green. He wouldn't usually do that, but it's just that he's not really in the position to put a red and a black there.
Mark Allen, 23.
So while Alan tries to get these couple of snookers he needs to get back into this frame, I can tell you that Natalia's son Vladislav, who Neil referenced earlier, will be one of the 8 amateurs to compete in the upcoming shootout in December. Now 16 years of age, and quite a few talented youngsters that'll be on show in that event. It's a real showcase, isn't it, for young players, the opportunity to taste the big stage in front of a big crowd. Vladislav will be among them. Riley Powell is another, Sophie Nix, Joel Connolly, Sion Stewart, Daniel Boyes, Stephen Wardropper from Scotland, and Joe Shannon from Ireland, who's just 13.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing about the shootout, isn't it? We kind of spoke about it earlier on. It's a great opportunity. You see a few of the leading players not playing it. Mark Allen won it, and that actually made his season last season. So he defends it, assuming he will play in it again, which I'm sure he will. But the middle-ranked players very rarely miss out on the shootout because they know that, given its nature, they could pick up a £50,000 prize and get up the rankings. So it's an opportunity for somebody. We don't know who yet. Good luck to all those youngsters being involved.
He's battling away here, Mark Allen, in a bid to turn this around. It seems unlikely, and will certainly end if Lyons can slot this red in. And it was a really good break of 73. Mark Allen immediately concedes from Ollie Lyons to get himself back in front in this match. He's already got 3 wins under his belt this week. He now leads 2-1. 7.
Oliver Lyons to break.
It's a level at 1-1, so 2 frame-winning breaks from each player to kill off the last 2 frames.
Not worked out too badly. It was not a huge slice of good luck, that half-ball kiss on the yellow, but it's left Ollie Lyons with a fairly congested side of the table to play away from. Playing down the right side all the same, half-ball here. Well, you use all the good luck you can get, and that was a very handy fluke and a very handy nudge. So that is tremendously fortunate in the end. I mean, you didn't know anything about the red that went in. You saw it went in off 2 other balls. But if anything, the little flick on the yellow is even better. Somehow he's got himself half a chance here. Can't really complain if he's landed a little too straight on the yellow because he was lucky to be there even. Pretty good shot.
3.
Didn't have much angle to play with. Got red to middle, and then the next colour is going to be the slight worry. That red through the gap, goodness, it goes. From that view, it looks like that red would never pass, but as you can see, it does. It was the parting of the Red Sea, wasn't it, to make that red available? So things are kind of happening here for
4.
Ollie Lines. He stole frame 1, he's now in front again. Alan, of course, would have been favouring. He was the man who's already played 3 matches this week. It's getting to the point where he's starting to take the upper hand, Lines.
6. Seven.
Well, he's not got a huge angle, as you can see, to play with on this shot either. Pink to middle. Considering stopping the cue ball roughly where the pink is now. Forced it, and you know, you play with extra speed into a middle pocket and you lose your accuracy, the ball is not going to go in. Very little leeway on those. Well, the only good news, I guess, for Ollie Lines is that, as you can see, he played on a red and didn't get on anything, so he's got away with it. It's a very important frame, this. You know, it feels that at 3-1, Ollie Lines would still hold all the aces in this match.
Big mistake. What's the damage? Would have been very disappointed to only muster 7 points from that initial fluke at the start of this frame. Certainly hasn't left anything straightforward for Alan to start the break. He's overcut the rail. It wasn't easy. Wow. A series of errors at the start of this frame from Lines. And there's another one. He fancied the in-off, one red, but it didn't work out.
No, I think if he'd have played it very slowly, it would have probably just fallen in.
One.
Elliot Slessor's just levelled with Long Zhuang on table 3 at 2-all. Long had made a century to go. 2-1 up. The winner of that to play Lei Pei Fan, who beat Tom Ford earlier today.
Four.
As you can see, it's quite a difficult table now with the pink and black where they are, seemingly out of play. I think there might have been a way of getting onto the pink into the left corner, but clearly not from where the balls have landed. And it is a vital juncture in this match, you feel, this one.
Ten.
Quite a nice area to play in that. They played it around 4 cushions, red to right corner or left middle with the likely outcomes. Get 35-40 here, you'd be more than pleased with that sort of contribution. Has the angle to go into them if he wants to. And that's the only downside sometimes of going into them, is you don't
21.
end up on a ball, whereas if you hadn't have played on into the reds, you probably could have got on the top red of the little bunch of half a dozen. And you can pot it, but it's really difficult. Question is he on the black through that gap between the reds? Yes, he can certainly pot that. A little awkward queuing, however. And the awkward queuing was the problem, not the fact that the red didn't go. The black didn't go, rather, because it clearly did. Now, has he gone far enough here? Because he's meant to be covering that top red of the 5 into the right corner. I don't know if he can get to the potting angle, you know. Yeah, he can. Mark Allen's made a mistake there, and he knows it.
One.
It's a tough table with both pink and black at the moment in awkward spots.
There's a handy little nudge. Goodness, he wasn't going anywhere with that cue ball that was any good to him. He's had a couple, hasn't he, in this frame?
Five. Oliver lines 5.
Yes, it hurts, doesn't it? Because he knew that was trying to just creep the cue ball in behind a red. Clearly it wasn't an easy pot, but he just overcut slightly. Wow, there's a gap through to that one. That would be even more painful for Ollie Lyons, because I think the bottom red by the black is the one that he was playing on, and all of a sudden the smallest of gaps led to the middle red going.
Six. Seven.
It's not a big lead, but in the context of this sort of frame, it's starting to mount up a little bit for Ollie Lyons. He's been in with 2 chances in this frame, which have not led to a great deal.
$14.
Nicely played.
15.
Typical Mark Allen, isn't it? Everything is played at such close quarters, you know, with this red and a couple of shots before, now this pink right up next to it. Only just, but when played that slowly, you've got every possibility of the ball dropping in and any colour with this red. And it's not a memorable frame, but you feel that fairly significant one.
Well, 3 scoring chances for Lyons, including the initial fluke. Mustered only 12 points. The blue he missed just now to the right corner was difficult.
22.
And of course, he left a red for Mark Allen, which looks likely to cost him. 32 the difference. He's looking at the final red, but of course he doesn't need that to make the frame safe.
Indeed. I'd like to pot it, but as you say, it's not the most important thing.
$29.
One snooker to tie then.
Mark Allen, 29.
Yeah, and that means he hasn't quite clinched the frame, doesn't it? Especially with the balls in orthodox positions, you know, there could be a way back into the frame for lines, albeit it's only a slim chance. See the idea of that shot, a little unlucky. By no means a difficult snooker to hit. You know, playing the swerve, I guess, which he was just thinking of playing, would be awkward. Playing the other way now, around the green, with right hand side to the right of the green as we look. He's got to be careful of the cue will do anything untoward here, like going into the middle pocket or something. Never likely to happen, but you never know in these circumstances.
Fallon can't pot this red, the frame is surely over. Line still needs a snooker to tie as things stand. And he's got it. So it's not been a pretty frame, but Allen has potted the important balls. Lines has had chances, got the fluke initially, but made only 7 from it. And so it's going to be a best of 3 from here for a place in the last 16.
Mark Allen, 3. Frame conceded.
Mark Allen does enough to tie the match up here in Belfast on the 4th afternoon of the Northern Ireland Open. The double champion makes it 2-all.
Thank you. Frame 5. Mark Allen to break.
Not a great break, but happily for Allen, he's not left anything, having crashed into the blue.
Oh, has he angled him? On a number of the reds, I'd say anything down that right side might not be accessible. which means he's not really in trouble, but he hasn't got the easiest escape. If he feels that he's angled on all of the reds, I would have thought he could have got to the left one, but seemingly not. No problem. That's quite a good safety shot, in fact, down that side. Not leaving much room, if any, on the right side. It may be that he can get to the edge of a red to the right of the pink, but even then it isn't a particularly appealing shot. That may be the sliver of the red available, but even then, not going to be playing it by the looks of things. That's a good safety shot back. That's probably the best of the match so far for me. Pace right as well. Excellent. That's a beautiful shot. Not something you always associate with Mark Allen, the ability to play that power shot and take the cue ball back. I mean, finishing tight on the cushion in this case is better for being on the blue because it gives him a nice angle to play down for a red.
Yes.
Well, what did he jump up in the air for there? If you were in your chair, you'd assumed he missed it.
6.
That was strange. Pop went in comfortably.
Presumably thought he got a bad contact, hence referee Natalia Gravinari cleaning the cue ball, but he was, as you say.
He was almost up on the shot before contact with the object ball. Not sure, but it went in comfortably.
It's amazing how few kicks we seem to get these days. It was a major part of the game for so many years, and chalk marks all over the cloth, but now, well into this match, frame 5, the cloth is pristine.
7.
Unless my eyes deceive me, he was in the process of getting up on the shot before contact was made there, so I'm not sure quite what happened, but clearly something wasn't right. But the opening red was deserving of a leave like this, because, I mean, yes, I'm not saying he's going to go on and make a century or whatever, but he could easily get himself into a frame-winning position. The reds are scattered. There's no one better at just picking off the reds in play than this man up close.
Ten.
Yeah, I mean, this is a beautifully struck shot. That looks very good. Not only is he on that red, but with the angle just to get on the black as well, so that last shot on the blue was very accurately played. Oh no! Wow, what a miss. I think he took his eye off it because he's playing the cannon, but it's, well, honestly, for someone of Mark's standing, it's absolute sitter he's missed there.
One.
Well, he didn't give anything away with his expression, but he must be seething inside, Alan, having carved out that opportunity for himself with the brilliant initial red. And that chance now falls to Ollie Lyons. Elliot Slesser in the background there on table 3 on a break and looking to go 3-2 up on Long Zhuang. In fact, that's a certainty now. Just one red remaining as I speak. So Slesser 1 up with 2 to play. The winner to play Lei Pei Fan in the last 16. Very tough third frame underway between Jimmy White and Martin O'Donnell, which could still go either way.
Yes, it does appear that Jimmy's going to win it. I think O'Donnell
9.
requires a couple of snookers, which he's trying to get, but unless he does, it'll be 2-1 to the whirlwind. But this is significant again.
16.
This passenger play, not only just because he got this chance, but because of the miss of Mark Allen's. It's these shots that he missed for a long time. Having played a beautiful shot from blue to red, he missed the easiest red.
And confirmation that, as we see that red again, extraordinary really. Jimmy White has won that third frame. O'Donnell going in off the blue, trying to get the snookers he needed. So 2-1 to White on table 2. Winner of that to play Pang Jung-ju, who of course knocked out Luca Brissell this morning pretty handsomely. 4-1.
Seeing that red again, you know, he's just a
24.
perfect example of a player thinking only about position and just ignoring the pot. It's something every player does at times, however good you are. You think you can't miss the pot, so you think, well, okay, all about the little cannon on the red, on the black, frame over, probably a few shots down the line. You forget the obvious bit. That's the worst kiss you can imagine here. I mean,
25.
just hit the underside of that red. Hit more of the red, you're on it. I don't know if, had he missed the red altogether, whether he'd be on the black, but it's still the worst outcome.
Oh, that is a terrific pot from Ollie Lyons. Really good after the frustration of not getting the position he intended.
30.
Well, I thought he was eyeing it up. I didn't think he'd play it, but there was a slight frustration, I think, in the shot. But I have to say, with Ollie Lyons, you'd like to see him taking on the odd shot, I think. Maybe for a period of his career when he wasn't going anywhere, I think he just stopped taking risks. He's a good player. It's nice to see him showing something. That semi-final in the British Open, it's kind of reinvigorated him, I think. But now what does he do?
This is another real tester close to the side cushion. Yeah, wasn't easy at all, but it could be very expensive. The blue was great, but unfortunately that's where the break ends.
It's interesting now because that plant doesn't look far away from going in, albeit it would have been off the bottom jaw. We might even get to see it yet. It might be that it's not straight in line, but I tell you, it's not far off. Clearly he thought it wasn't an option, or else he'd have played it, but Mark Allen's looking at it. And if Mark Allen does knock in the plant, then Ollie Lyons will be absolutely enraged because he could have played that instead of the more difficult red that he decided to pot after the blue.
1.
The other thing is the two reds aren't touching, so he could possibly straighten them and make it into a plant. Interesting decision he made. We'll find out if it was the right one, perhaps. It's not right in the centre of the pocket. I think that's the problem. Let's find out. Did Ollie Lyons make the correct decision or not in refusing this? He was further over to the right with the cue ball, I'll grant you. Well, he did make the right decision. He was vindicated.
Yeah, and I think that expression suggests, thank goodness I was right. A little smile and an exchange with his friend Mark Allen off the table. No friends today, of course. Certainly did look makeable from that angle, but anyway, it's gone now.
That's how I thought so too, and the only one who was absolutely correct about it was Ollie Lyons, although he did miss the other ball. Yeah, two guys who get on well together.
Couldn't really be tighter, could it? Two each, just 7 points between them in this fifth frame. Neither has been able to get on top of the other so far. They both made one break of substance. And there's a long way to go in this frame.
So which one of these two players is going to take this match by the scruff of the neck? There's been some good shots played and got. A couple of very surprising shots that haven't gone in. But he's up for grabs.
One.
It's not worked out right either, so it's more of the same really. A match where these two cannot be separated, not only in this frame but in all the other four. No one's been in front by more than a frame.
Markala.
Mine's has
8.
been a frame up and 2-1 up, but there really isn't a lot in it again. Although that is a very well played safety shot. I mean, there is a gap down the middle of the table, which you could see there. Playing twice across to hit the bottom couple of reds. It's an excellent shot. Well, he decided to play the red up the table. At least it's stopped a possible stalemate, which might have occurred. With initially, Ollie Lyons was thinking about rolling into the couple of reds he was closest to. Well, what about that for a shot? There's not a lot of room to get in behind there. But Mark Allen will be trying to get back in there himself.
He's not afraid to go for his shots, Ollie Lines. We've seen that a few times today, and again there he got very close, as you can see from his body language. It's another difficult frame though. Red's not great at the moment. There's been some good safety played. Elliot Slessor 3-2 up on Long Zhuang, who's in the balls in a bid to take that match to a decider. He's some way behind though. 40 adrift in frame 6, but with a chance to take it to a 7th frame on table 3. That's on Discovery Plus, as is the match on table 2, of course. Jimmy White and Martin O'Donnell. 2-1 to White. Had a good chance early in the 4th. Missed a black off its spot with the red spread. And O'Donnell looking to punish.
Very little between this pairing, not only in the scores in this frame and the match, but just generally on, I think, the day's play.
Into its 26th minute, this frame. The opening frame was a shade under half an hour. But the table gradually opening up now, so whoever gets in next will have a great chance to get within one frame of the last 16.
He's fortunate there. He certainly didn't mean to hit the other red on the way through. Put his hand up just to acknowledge that.
It's been quite a battle, this. Nearly 10 minutes since the last pot. That has now changed in Ollie Lyne's favour. Excellent long-range red now. What can he do with it?
Well, he's certainly got the angle from Brown to get to red. The Brown is a little tricky. The cue ball has run on that fraction. It's not a kiss that he was looking for at all.
5.
Might still be able to get through there, you know, to the red. I think he can. Yeah, the pink's not in the way of the potting angle. When he comes and looks at it from this way, I think he's probably more actually not the pot that he's now looking at. Might be what happens to the cue ball, because he's worried about it hitting the red below and to the left of the red he's playing.
Six.
Don't know if he was hoping to get onto the black to middle. He's on the blue instead, but it feels like this break's getting more difficult by the shot. It's only a break of 6. Well, that could be the decisive blow.
6.
Although that cue ball looks to have saved him. So again, neither player can break free of the other, it seems.
Elliot Slesser is very close to victory now over Long Zhuang, who needs a couple of snookers in frame 6 on table 3. Another 30-minute frame, which is still potentially some way off from conclusion. Oh dear. Well, it might not be now.
No, you have to be absolutely dead on with pace on that. Yeah, good shot to plant the black there. This was the shot he played. A little bit heavy-handed. Playing on the black means the red goes below it, and it wouldn't have gone otherwise. So he's got work to do, and we've seen a few chances squandered, but at the moment Mark Allen is looking favourite for the frame.
And Martin O'Donnell has just made a century off that miss black from Jimmy White to level on table 2 at 2 frames all.
Mark Allen, 16.
Still, Mark Allen can't quite kill this off.
It's like he's taking his eye off the odd shot there. He wanted to be high on the black, and then he could have played on the red with the blue there, but all of a sudden he's forgot the first bit again. Not quite as bad a miss as the one earlier. Whether it proves costly, hard to say.
1.
Now, what can he do that's meaningful here? Don't think he wants to roll behind a bolt colour unless he absolutely has to. Could be that he could put the cue ball on the bolt cushion somewhere. That might be as good, if not better. Well, now he is deciding just to play down the line. So he didn't play the roll-up. Ultimately, he's got the snooker. There's not a lot wrong with that shot. Full ball snooker, which means that Alan's got an escape. And with the red tight on the cushion, the target's not very big. If it was off the cushion a little bit, you could hit it off 1 or 2 cushions. It's a big old swerve, this, though. Really could get underneath it. Butt of the cue. Very well played, you know. It was not an easy shot.
And that applause you heard was for Elliot Slesser, who has just beaten Long Zhuang on table 3 by 4 frames to 2. So he'll now play Lei Pei Fan in the last 16. Coming up next on table 2, it'll be Ma Hai Long, who played very well to beat Ali Carter yesterday against Chris Wakelin, who missed out yet again to Judd Trump in the final 12 months ago, of course. He's now lost 14 out of 14 against Trump, but Wakelin, of course, a very fine player in his own right, former shootout champion. So that's the next match on table 2. After Jimmy White and Martin O'Donnell, they might have to wait a while. 2 each on table 2 right now. And of course, to follow this, John Higgins and Barry Hawkins, but they may too have to wait for quite some time yet. This frame getting on for 40 minutes in length.
It's not easy to know what you can do with this for the good. So you can push the red up and down, avoiding the black and the blue.
Thank you.
Don't suppose that's too bad. It's the problem, isn't it? You see, when you have long spells of inactivity, you're not really getting much to go at. You get that sort of a red, which you probably would normally fancy, Mark Allen, but you don't go into it the same air of confidence or fluency. He thought he'd got that when he hit it.
One of those where, because Lyons got as close as he did to the pot, the red didn't come too far away from the pocket. A little shake of the head from him as that cost him the frame.
It might have done, and he knows it sitting there. "17 minutes, so he will need yellow, green and brown, although you kind of feel that the yellow is all he needs. This mid-range shot.
7.
Green and brown seems less likely to miss after it. So it's not been a pretty frame, quite honestly, and it's just about 40 minutes old, but Allen is going to find a way of winning it. Both players would have been disappointed
12.
to have lost it, because that applies to Ollie Lyons, because he has had good chances during the course of these 40 minutes to win the frame. Ultimately, the last shot he played,
16.
where the red rattled and stayed over the top left pocket, was a little bit unlucky.
So once again, no prizes for aesthetics in this frame, but Mark Allen won't care because he's won it, and he's put himself within a frame of progression here in Belfast. A rueful looking grin on the face of Ollie Lyons. Alex Higgins Trophy at stake this week here in Belfast, and the local man in charge, Mark Allen, twice champion, 3-2 up on Ollie Lyons. It's been a very tight match. A couple of the frames we've seen could have gone the other way. Lyons will certainly feel he could have been 3-2 up, but now looking to force a decider with John Higgins and Barry Hawkins to follow here on table 1. This evening from 7 o'clock local time, world champion Kyren Wilson back in action. Of course, Kyren's already won a title this season since lifting the big one at the Crucible, the Xi'an Grand Prix, where he beat Judd Trump in the final. He plays Anthony McGill, who's been out of sorts for the last couple of seasons. A lovely pot. Lovely pot. Could have done without that little cannon maybe, but he's still okay on the black. And after that, it's Mark Williams against Noppon Sankam, who of course has been using Sean Murphy's cue this week.
8.
I mean, the red's slightly scattered at the bottom of the bunch, so it's hard to get into the main bulk of the 6 reds, which are still close together. The problem he's got now is, where does the next red come from?
Average frame time getting on for 24 minutes. We've had a couple of particularly long ones, especially, of course, the one just gone, which lasted over 40. Brilliant. Superb. Now, can Lyons produce something substantial here? He made a break of 73 to lead 2-1.
That was a better shot than it looked, I think. So now that that has gone in, it's a really good opportunity.
15. 16. 23. 24. 29. 30.
Bit of an annoyance, really, that the blue now goes up onto the yellow spot. It kind of brings it out of the frame somewhat. But he is in a
34.
position where his break is beginning to mount up now. As we've said, there's never been more than a frame in it. The first time Mark Allen's been in front. It's almost forced Ollie Lyons to play a little bit more attacking in his style. But he's gone too far again, so the shot he's got on the green to get onto a red is not easy. Played the bunch there off 2 cushions, nowhere near them.
38.
Nice recovery shot, really good.
29.
He did well there because he must have been annoyed that he didn't get on the green very well, and then he missed the 2 reds, but he still was able to play the rescue shot.
It's not the first time he's done that today either. Retrieved a break from an unpromising position with a great long pot. He's knocked in some great balls from distance today, but what he really needs now is a
46.
sizable break to get himself a deciding frame, which you'll feel on the balance of play he certainly merits.
Bit of a ticklish problem here. Which red do you play? I mean, initially he's always going to play this red down the cushion, but when the other red went over the left middle, and what ideally he'd like to pot the red he's close to, get on the black, have the red over the middle. But the other thing is, as a left-handed player, it's not a particularly comfortable shot, this, so it'd be a brave one. Going for the easier option in the end. But at least now he could
47.
again land behind that red, because he has the perfect angle on the pink to do so.
$53.
Well, there's a moment which Mark Allen might be able to capitalise on. It's such an awkward shot for a left-handed player, that down that side. You know, you can imagine being right-handed, it would be quite a simple shot to roll in with your correct hand. So Mark Allen might have been starting to write this frame off, but I don't think he will have done now. Certainly can get back into it if he can get these 5 reds shifted somewhat from this next shot. Wasn't one of his better shots of going into them. So it's not proved to be all that costly.
Mark Allen, 8. Touching ball.
Well, I don't know what he can do here. He doesn't want to take any risks. Mark Allen, when he didn't get the bunch of reds open, was unprepared also to take a gamble of any kind. But he did leave a touching ball. That's the only thing that happened that was any good for Ollie Lines.
It's another terrific pot, not easy. 46 the lead, 67 left with a colour to come. Opting to buy himself a bit of insurance by pushing the pink into a safer spot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players would have done that. I think there was always, you could roll the pink in, get the 6 points, but putting it near a cushion is certainly in his better interest, I guess. Well, the problem he's got now, Mark Allen, is that the reds are becoming more and more awkward. So any way of back into the frame is going to be twice as difficult, quite honestly.
Martin O'Donnell has just taken frame 5 on table 2, so now leads Jimmy White by 3 frames to 2. The winner of that to play Pang Junju, who knocked out Luca Brissell this morning. Well, he's at it again. He's potted some balls today, Ollie Lyons. Breaks have been hard to come by for both players, but he's edging his way to a decider. And the table is very favourable right now for him, because there are awkward balls that Allen would have to negotiate if he does get a chance.
Yeah, and I think he'd like to put something else awkward as well. One of the colours, maybe put the black on the left cushion, which of course is a big scoring ball that Mark Allen will need. He could put the green safe or just anything to make it more difficult than it already is.
Black ball.
Yeah, he's did chip the black onto the left cushion here. Be hard to find fault in that shot. Because how on earth can Mark Allen get
Oliver
back into the
lines
frame? Even if he does land on a red, pink and black are not easy to get on. And you're swimming against the tide a little bit, aren't you?
A red and a high value colour away from 3-all.
If he's playing thin off the red, it's just consequences of hitting it thin and trying to get the black in play, I think, there, you
Oliver
know.
lines 4.
That's what he tried to do. I think he actually tried to hit the black on the way back up. But he's putting him in from where he was, which is even more difficult. He's just not getting anywhere at the moment, Mark Allen, with any of this. One red away from losing the frame now. No, he's given up on trying to get the black in play. And for all the world, it looks like we're heading towards a decider. I mean, the frame is not actually over yet, but it kind of feels like it is, where the balls are.
Barring a snooker, it will be if this goes in. Yet another good long pot from Oliver Lyons. That's been one of the features of this match so far, his potting from distance. He's had to graft again in this frame. It's been that sort of match. 52 the difference then, 51 left.
Oliver lines 4. Frame conceded.
And Mark Allen concedes, so we are going all the way. It's been that sort of afternoon, nothing between them throughout, really. It seems fitting that we need a 7th frame to determine who will go through. So we're going the distance here in Belfast. Mark Allen hoping for a 3rd Northern Ireland Open title. He's going to have to win this frame to keep those dreams alive.
To break.
Just 1/2 century from Allen today. An 87 to level at 1-all. His next highest break just 30, so it's a measure of how tough going it's been.
Good safety shot there. Ollie Lyons taking the cue ball through the gap between the green and brown. The left-hand ready should be able to play up and down in safety from. That's a good comeback from Allen. This is pretty good. If you're Ollie Lyons, what do you do? He has knocked in quite a lot of good balls to that right corner, but of course he doesn't want to be playing anything into that pocket that's got big risks attached unless he really has to. And just looking at there, where he's pointing his cue, if he could get the cue ball into that area, then he feels that perhaps that would be a problem for Ollie Lyons. Good cue ball anyway. That's one part of the shot which he played well. If you get close enough to the pot, as you saw that he did, he stops the red ending up quite close to the cue ball, trying to put distance between the pair of them. Fortunately, the red did travel up and down the table, but in this case it didn't get in the way.
If this decider follows the pattern of the rest of the match, we could be in for quite a scrap. And of course, traditionally, deciding frames tend to be that much tenser, tighter in any case. 6 minutes down, still no reds have disappeared.
Well, he felt he had to go for it, and to be honest, he's been good at long range, but this one might be very costly. It's been a very slow start to frame 7, with 7 minutes gone, but now a chance has emerged, and it is the pistol, the local favourite, who's got this chance. Oh, goodness. He's missed the first red. Wow. That's been the story of this match. He's missed 3 shots, which you would never see Mark Allen miss in this match. I mean, I don't know whether he was any suggestion he got a kick, but we don't see that many of those these days. Not sure what happened. But Ollie Lyons was very quickly out of his chair when this opportunity came up.
Seven. Eight.
Although he was very disappointed with the way he played in his first ever ranking semi-final against John Higgins, by his own admission, the weight of the occasion got the better of him, and he didn't really show up in that match. It was nevertheless a very productive week, of course, to get to the last 4 for the first time. That will have given him a lot of belief that he can now become the sort of player who goes deep in these big events regularly.
11.
And if he could take out Mark Allen today, in what is his 4th match of the week already, with his qualifiers held back to the venue because of that run in Cheltenham, well, that would be another big stride forward in the career of Ollie Lyons. Early days, but he's got this chance that he wouldn't have expected to get, having missed the long red.
Fifteen. Sixteen.
Well, he's on the green, but with the red up there, it's quite difficult to know where his next red will come from. Blue in the way, unless he can just run round the back of the red and blue off 2 cushions here. The only way he could do this. That's well played.
19. Twenty. 25.
Just playing behind the single red, although he's not pleased, I think, with the fact that he's on the cushion, and getting from red to colour is not simple. But he shouldn't be too disappointed. He can still make something of this. It's a wonderful moment in the match for him. Well, he didn't like it, did he? Well, he seemed really unhappy with it, but
25.
could have got across even further. Be most disappointed to have missed at that point when he's just getting supremacy in the match itself.
The prolonged applause was for Martin O'Donnell, who's just wrapped up a 4-2 victory over Jimmy White, who'll look back on a miss black when he was 2-1 up with the balls nicely spread. O'Donnell moving through to play Pang Junju in the last 16 here in Belfast. Still to come on this table this afternoon, John Higgins and Barry Hawkins. It's one of those where you often see that shot missed altogether because the player will not be looking to... Well, he said he hit it.
I'm not sure if you can check.
I don't think he hit it. Well, my eyes might be gone. I didn't see any contact made there. Let's have another look at this. No, goodness me. No contact, sir. No.
Oliver line 4.
No contact. We've seen it 3 times now. The referee was correct. I mean, it's one of those you can be under that impression when you're out there that you've hit one and you get so close to it, but he wasn't even right next to it, you know. Problem he's got is that
Can you help me?
the points are potentially going to mount up. In the context of it's been a really tight match between this pair. Really tight all the way through. All the frames have been close. No one's been in more than a frame in front.
A tiny bit more. Yeah, yeah.
Leo Scullion providing some assistance. Oh dear, double kiss.
Yeah, that's the problem on that shot. If you think the double kiss is on, it is going to be on, and you're going to double kiss it almost every time. So he was in a spot of bother, that's for sure.
Could have been worse, that's for sure. But Lyons has been pretty adept at knocking this kind of ball in today. And he's done so again. Excellent from Lyons.
Yeah, and another moment has come up in the match, and he's had a few. Missed that bad red to the top right, but, you know, to beat Mark Allen anywhere, and mine here in Belfast, that would be quite something. He's had good results in his career, but it would be a continuation of a good run of form lately if he could get this match won. Oh, no. Wow.
Netherlands 1.
That's a bad one. Blew off the spot. Not a shot you would see miss that often.
What a reprieve that is for the 2-times champion. At the very least, it was a chance for Lyons to further embellish that 30-point lead. Look at that. Nearly half an hour. He can't believe it since Allen. Cries have come on from a home crowd. Certainly a good-looking chance for Allen to get back into this decider, which didn't seem likely. But that always looked wide. Incredible. Incredible.
Allen 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was top jaw and it stayed there. I mean, you know, if you go back when the cloths were a little thicker than they are now, you know, there was nap on them and that would pull down from the top jaw naturally. Those days are long gone. Yeah, there was a roar, wasn't there? He potted the red and a few spectators said, "Come on, Mark," and thought he was going to get fired up and make a sort of rousing break, but it didn't amount to anything. That's been the story of the afternoon. But with Oliver Lyons missing 2 good chances in this frame, I'm not ruling anything out here. This is not particularly nice. This shot he's got to play. He's got to take the blue on. He knows it. If he gets it, well, he's not won the match, but he's got a terrific chance of doing so. But this is still got to go in. Good shot. So, third time luckier maybe in this frame because the 2 chances have gone astray now. With a lead already at 35 points. He must now finish this position off. Put himself through the next round. Been very busy as a player. Playing all of his matches here at the venue from the very first round, so been very busy. He'd have to win 8 matches, 1 a day all the way through if he was to become champion.
He's never been to the last 16 of any Home Nations event, Lyons. Not clean, but it dropped. There'll be a lot of pressure out there now. He knows this is a golden chance, which he may have returned to his chair after the missed blue, thinking he'd missed to get the better of the 2-times champion. Mark Allen, no doubt, reflecting on this. Extraordinary, really, having been given the reprieve with Lyons missing the blue to the same pocket.
19.
No, that's okay. He just flicked the black, actually, and the red. But to his relief, he's still on the black. And he'll need just one more red. I'm not sure he can get it from there. Looks like it's a little double kiss has put him on nothing.
26.
So there's still a glimmer for Mark Allen, unless somehow he can knock one in. And if he did pop one, it would have to be the middle red of the three. I think his end of break, though, looking at that table. Very strong position, but not an unassailable one.
Oliver Lyons, 26.
Tantalisingly close to victory, but not quite there. 55 the difference, with 59 still on the table.
I have to say that Mark Allen played quite nicely in his previous match, winning 4-0 fluently, but he really has not played to that level today, for whatever reason. I know he missed a tournament recently, didn't go over to China. Family issues. I hope everything's all right there, of course, more importantly than anything on the snooker table. But for whatever reason, he has not played with any real spark today. Well, that could be the final blow. He hit a lot of it, but he had to try and play with left-hand swerve and get a thin edge. But it's been the story of the afternoon. Nothing he's tried has really happened.
One red will do it for Ollie Lyons. Put him 56 in front with only 51 left. Allen would need two snookers. Oh, goodness. What a chance that's gone begging there. He's missed three with the rest now today.
Well, that was nowhere near. I mean, it was quite a thinnish contact required. He hit an awful lot of the red. Not anywhere near the pocket. And you're right, he knocked in a good red shot earlier on the blue. This match has still got to be won by somebody, although Ollie Lyons is in a strong position, but not there yet. Well, he might be able to get the pink into play here. Well, he wants to hope that he's got the snooker. No, well, he made the decision to play behind the pink, and it's gone wrong. Wondered if he'd take the red one and screw into the pink and move it out. But another chance has come Ollie Lyons' way. And this time he takes it. And it's been, I have to say, a kind of match where it would be hard to argue that Ollie Lyons has not deserved the win. He's missed a few himself, but I think he's been, of the two players, a little bit the more adventurous,
Oliver Lyons
slightly sharper. It's just that when the winning line has come, he's kind of struggled to get over it because he's playing a top player in his own backyard. So that's been the problem for him. Otherwise, he's played well.
And Mark Allen, for his part, will be very disappointed. He was pleased with his performance against Lu Hongyu, and he did play well. He was fluent. His safety was very good. It was a polished all-round display. Today has been a long way off that. He was very keen to impress his fans again here in Belfast.
That had to go in. I think it's handshake time, isn't it?
Mark Allen won.
There it is. Another big name bites the dust in Belfast. The home favourite beaten on his own patch 2 times. Northern Ireland Open champion Mark Allen bows out. Congratulations to Oliver Lyons. The British Open semi-finalist claims another big scalp. He's through to the last 16. 4-3.